Sylvanas sort of piles into that. If you guys aren't familiar with Haunted Mines, maybe watching a lot of the NA scene where it doesn't get picked up too much. It is a two-laned map, and a golem will get summoned if all the skulls have been collected in the lower portion of the map. Each team will get a golem that pushes forward, but again, like Jake was mentioning, Sylvanas looking really strong because you can shut down those structures from targeting back at the golem.
Yeah, Sylvanas is one of those heroes that is very strong on this battleground, but you're looking at heroes with very strong level 4 talent because you want to win that first mine encounter if possible, so you can set the pace for the rest of the game. So look for heroes that have Venom, or potentially heroes that can bring out a lot of damage very quickly at level 4.
Does Cloud9 do it? Do they commit to the early Sylvanas? You can see them going over their draft right now, discussing the options. No, they're going to stick to Leoric. They went first pick Leoric last game. It worked out brilliantly for them, so stick to your guns.
Yeah, Caffeine loves this hero. Whenever you talk to him, I'm like, hey, what are you going to draft? I'm drafting Leoric. Every time. That's his response. I'm like, what if Leoric's banned? Well, I'm going to try and draft Leoric anyways. That's how he really loves the game right now with Leoric. He believes he's very, very strong. And to be honest, you got to agree with him a little bit. You can totally set the pace for a fight. Leoric can get to an aggressive state and really put your opponents out of position. And with him picking out Leoric, you're going to see them potentially try to do that in this game.
Whoa, we saw the aggression out of Cloud9 in game 1, but they're bringing it to themselves here. Immunity has Jaina and Kerrigan, and when it comes to these close quarter combat, you cannot dodge those combos. The Blizzard raining down on you, the Primal Grass pulling you into that massive damage. I love this pickup.
For sure, very small battleground, so it makes a lot of sense to grab this. Now, I had spoken to Cloud9, Dunk Train in particular, asking about this battleground in particular. Did you guys practice this? You guys ready for this? Because you know there's a potential they'll do it. Nah.
No, they always shake their head now.
Shake their head now. Probably not. Probably not. Not going to practice that. Because we don't need to. We feel so confident against this.
Well, they could go for a couple of warriors like they're doing so now. York, Arthas, and straight into Tyrande. Perfect. One reason why you picked Tyrande here is K1 Pro is obviously a god on her. Second, you don't want the Kerrigan-Tyrande combo to come up, and that can be very strong in Haunted Mines. So a great kind of steal away and also a great foundation for grabbing that Tyrande once again.
But both of these compositions are so much about the early game, the aggression that exists here in both teams. I mean, Haunted Mines tends to have a shorter map length in general, so I really like this style. We do see those bans going out. It's going to be Rhaegar banned by Team Immunity and then Muradin on the side of Cloud9.
Yeah, something we haven't talked about too much yet, though, is the fact that Uther was banned in that first rotation. Rhaegar being taken out. This means that Cloud9, they might be up against something where they have to pick up some very interesting heroes, and this is going to be Sonya picked up in NA. We're talking about aggressive, aggressive, aggressive. Sylvanas, and we talked about how strong she is. Kerrigan, Sonya. Tim, what do you make of this?
Sonya is an amazing soft counter to Leoric, actually. Leoric can take a lot of damage very, very quickly from this character. Also, I've been watching Team Immunity in their scrims, and please let them be some kind of indicator that they're going to go with Leap, potentially at level 10. They break out the Uwa, and they do some damage and some work if they're working together. An Uwa Leap here with a Sylvanas Wailing Arrow on top of it can be devastating.
I love the pickups here. It's all about being in your face. We already talked about Sylvanas and why she's so strong, but it's now Cloud9's turn to pick their last two heroes. They pick up Malfurion. They've got those Night Elves paired together. Malfurion and Tyrande, true love.
Perhaps noted, maybe? Nah. All right, so the big thing to talk about. Oh, yeah, Zeratul.
Wow. Yeah,
that's
insane.
That going right through it?
That's insane.
So
he made
strong.
it this far into the draft.
Yeah.
That is one of the most uncommon things here in competitive heroes, but it's because it's Haunted Mines. I think the priority is definitely a little bit less.
Yeah, you've been seeing Zeratul actually kind of, well, one, because of Haunted Mines, and two, he's actually starting to float down a little bit in the Korean meta because you want to wait and see if a lot of healthy heroes are going to be coming in. And Brightwing will be the 5th pick here for Team Immunity. Brightwing can be very great against Zeratul. He dies in, you pop out a Polymorph, and suddenly he's caught out of position, and you can focus him down very quickly. Interesting picks here from Immunity. Can they make it work?
It's fight time, my friends. Brightwing has not been played here in North America in quite some time. She has such a unique kit, but I love the pickup. When you see Zeratul blink in, you throw that Polymorph onto that hero, and he's so very vulnerable, cannot blink back on out. And look at her. Yes, she pulses heals. She has the Poly, the Arcane Flare, and the Arcane Pixie Dust. But the greatest part about Brightwing is her mobility. She can teleport anywhere to an ally across the battleground, and it's such a great thing to have.
Yeah, and it's interesting that Cloud9 actually kind of forced this pick. It was probably down to Karazim or Brightwing because they grabbed the Malfurion and the two healers that had already been banned out. So they knew, they're confident going into this, picking the Zeratul, knowing that the fact that Brightwing is a very real possibility.
Before we go into the match, Kubi, Jake, what are you thinking? Who's going to take this match?
How can I vote against Sonya? No, Sonya has to be able to take this.
I'm with Kubi. I'm voting for Brightwing. Let's go, Immunity. I believe that you can bring it back here in the second game on Haunted Mines. Cloud9, you mentioned they haven't been practicing on this battleground.
Yeah.
definitely could throw them off, but game number 2 is underway. Let's hop into it here between Cloud9 and Immunity, with Cloud9 currently up 1-0.
Is Cloud9 going to be able to take this series and advance to the winners of their group? Is Immunity going to be able to take Cloud9 out with this very strange strategy on a battleground they're almost never practicing on?
All right, well, Immunity, they have Nio playing as Kerrigan, and Igon's going to be on Brightwing, Robodoba on the Sonya, and then it's Sashin playing Sylvanas, and Shai rounding up the team on Jaina.
On the right side of Haunted Minds, it's going to be Cloud9. Dump Train will be on the Malfurion. King Caffeine on Leoric. Fan on the Zeratul. K1 Pro will be playing Tyrande, and I Dream the Flex on the Arthas.
Now, on Haunted Mines is a rather unique battleground because the mines can open here, which open up another part of the entire map, right? You can go down to a different layer in which is very narrow, but the Wraithwalk actually used very early to dodge the Primal combo, and suddenly Cloud9 is turning this around. The Death Coil just barely not taking Nio. He needs to go back to base.
I'm sorry, how much health does he have? 3? That was ridiculous, the fact that he was able to get out. A really good, strong showing, but a great reaction from King Caffeine to activate that Wraithwalk to get out of there.
Okay, well, it's going to be a very back and forth game. Now, the way that the battleground works is you collect skulls. When you collect enough skulls, or all the skulls, you'll summon a Grave Golem. The more you get, the more powerful your Golem is, and you can then push with it in one lane. The Golems actually choose opposite lanes. It's only a 2-lane battleground, and it creates for a very interesting dynamic. That's why we see Sylvanas played here so frequently, because if you leave her alone to push with the Golem, the damage is just devastating.
And I would fully expect Fan to really be kind of keeping Sylvanas in the sights, just saying, we need to match you wherever you're trying to push. If you're going to push down your Golem lane very early, we have to respond with that. We have enough mobility and lockdown to do it, but it's not going to be that easy to execute without a Kerrigan or perhaps maybe a Thrall on their side.
And I love what they're doing right now with Brightwing down in the bottom. Brightwing, that phase shift, such good utility to get back up in the top lane. Right now, they're really just continuing to just pace around and play safe. Both teams respect the threat of the early game of their opponents, and the mines will be spawning in just another 25 seconds. But Kerrigan diving forward, misses the combo. Dream's going to be able to walk out of this, and now Cloud9 turning around. Lunar Flare connecting there on Kerrigan, and that's going to be the first takedown of the game.
I was worried about maybe not having that guaranteed follow-up, but Arthas is showing that if you just have that Howling Blast in the right place, the Lunar Flare follow-up is going to buy enough time for Fan to get in there to get the damage done. And it's only going to get scarier from here with that focus attack pickup and the follow-through at level 7.
Kerrigan only a little bit behind, but suddenly Dream's getting very low. Lunar Flare in the back. They're going for Jaina. We see Brightwing phase shifting on in to try to keep the team up. Polymorph goes down, and Dream ends up going down. The first kill here on the side of Immunity. They're back, they're in action, and they're in the better position here for the first spawn of the mine.
Robodoba doing exactly what he needed to do to apply that pressure to the backline with Sonya. Just getting in there, making use of that whirlwind, which heals so much if you're able to target enemy heroes, being able to keep alive, push that backline back, and not allow for the follow-up.
And the power of Hunter's Mark is so strong. Nio is at full health. Just a quick combo took him down to only a fifth of his health pool. But we do see a lot of damage being thrown in the direction as well. Roots zoning out Sashin, and now that's a very lone, very risky Robodoba playing on Sonya right now. They're very split up. They need a back end up. Shai will end up going down. Primal Grasp trying to buy the time he needs for his team to get up there, but Nio will fall as well. Cloud9 looking so dominant in the mines.
Great walk and the Drain Hope. Great tools for Leoric, able to get that takedown. That's 3 for nothing. And what looked to be a very strong start for Immunity in these mines is suddenly turning around.
A full level lead for Cloud9, and they're even throwing Zeratul out to soak this bottom lane. This is the right call. When you have the team down in the mines collecting the skulls, if you can afford it, throw someone out to get even more experience to propel that lead further ahead.
For sure. And this is going to be a big sigh of relief for Cloud9. I know if they can get that really strong golem, the advantage golem, and they can just keep Sylvanas in check, that does a lot, because an early game advantage for Sylvanas can really be a nightmare to deal with.
And look at this, Cloud9 currently sitting at 58 skulls. This means that they don't have to fight for the boss if they don't want to, but they're opting to go back in. Only 2 members are there, but it's their bruisers. They have such big health pools, they're afforded the opportunity to do this.
You guys might be wondering why Immunity is completely backing away from just 2 heroes. They have no idea where the rest of Cloud9 is, especially that Zeratul to pull in. Dream, is he going to get punished?
A lot of damage is being thrown out, but Malfurion is there with the heal, and they get the immediate takedown onto Kerrigan. Make that 2. Sonya falls as well. Cloud9 just backing away to regain their composure and starting to flank back on in. The 3 heroes are clumped up, and Cloud9 is closing in for the kill. Zeratul gets polymorph, but it doesn't matter. That's 4 heroes down on the side of Immunity.
Yeah, we're going to see Sylvanas, the remaining, has to back out. There's no way they can contest this. They will have an extremely strong goal going into this.
Close to 90 skulls. 84 skulls picked up here for Cloud9. That is a huge advantage. Tashin getting low himself. Brightwing picks up the vision. Now they want to have eyes on Zeratul. That's a very smart pickup, especially considering the size of this battleground.
Yeah, the Peekaboo, a great idea. And we also have the cooldown reduction per ally that is healed with that Soothing Mist. So he's going to be doing a lot of teleporting. They'll be able to keep a lot of check onto Zeratul. But the question is it too late? An 84 skull golem is an immense target to have to deal with.
All right, Fan taking control of this forward watchtower. One thing we'll see is a lot of times teams will actually stall out the Giants before capturing them. You'll notice Robodobo will likely back up here once the Giant falls and just wait. If you time this when the enemy team's golem passes their wall, you can use those Siege Giants defensively. It's almost like having 2 more towers on your side, just throwing those rocks at the golems.
Ideally, Immunity is able to put Sylvanas in the aggressive location, but it's already been shown that Cloud9 will punish this style of play with Zeratul nearby, so we can see they're doing just the opposite. They're respecting Cloud9. They say, we know what just happened to us last game, and we know what you guys have been able to pull off so far. We're just going to take this safe, or we're going to try to get an advantage on the next golem.
Look how aggressive Cloud9 is getting, though, hammering through that wall. The top tower is very low. The Lunar Flare does connect, and we do see Drain Help applying quite a bit of damage to Robodoba, but Leoric does need to Wraith Walk back to safety.
Brightwing in the top lane just continuing to get that soak, trying to even out that experience lead, which is quickly falling out of favor for Immunity. That golem
Falling rather quickly, and the Root goes down! That is a dead Kerrigan and Sylvanas. 2 heroes have fallen, and Dream in the front line. I think he still has Howling Blast. Robodoba will go down here.
Great body blocks, an attempted whirlwind, but it wasn't enough. Caffeine and iDream were able to really get that punishment going. And more takedowns so far, 11-1 so far for Cloud9.
The boss is still standing. The fort is going to end up falling here, and the golem on the side of Immunity did not even get through the wall of Cloud9.
Puts them in a great position. They can back up. They know they can just take these knights in the middle of the battleground, continue to apply a little bit more pressure. It pushes into the off-goal lane, so this would just even out those fort structures, but they're very, very close to those heroics.
And notice, the Golem Skull actually stayed in that spot. So when the next summon of the Grave Golems happens, it's going to be that far forward. It's like a constant tug of war. You get more and more presence on the battleground throughout the game.
Yes, which means in this case, we're going to have the Immunity Golem pushing at the fort, and we're going to have Cloud9's pushing at the keep, and it's going to be a threat. More takedowns!
Wow, we see Syndragosa going up, shutting off those structures, allowing Fan to get way into enemy lines. He does get the takedown there on Kerrigan. And then we have the Entomb onto Sean, who will get hit by the Lunar Flare and blown up, and they throw down Void Prison to secure the lockdown on the final member of Immunity. That is a full team wipe.
Weren't even able to get that Haunting Wave off. That's how quickly they were able to coordinate that takedown. A great Entomb, and this is just complete punishment from Cloud9.
The top fort has fallen. Cloud9 4 levels ahead, only 7 minutes into this game, truly displaying their dominance.
The mines will be spawning soon, and with this huge timing window, no heroics for Immunity. If they try to step into the mines, they don't know if Cloud9 is going to be waiting for them there. They just showed a very dominating performance, and those heroics will be back off cooldown by the time the next mines are up.
And this is a really hard spot for Immunity because without heroics, there's no battleground, no mercenary camps they can go to get. They just kind of have to wait around, and that's why Cloud9's so far forward. They're saying, no, we're going to control your watchtower. If you try to step in here, we will take you out. And Shy a bit out of position. Brightwing trying to face shift in. The shields are there, but there is the Leoric in the backline. That is a dead Jaina very quickly. And now Anagon does not have the experience. He does not have the abilities to get out of there.
A great Entomb, not going to follow up, and they don't want to overextend with this a little bit. Trying to punish that road. That is going to be another takedown. Cloud9 19-1 so far.
And they throw out Syndragosa to shut off these structures and push on in forward. This is going to get just more capability for the Golem to march on through with those structures taking so much damage, and the mines are once again open.
And with those 2 heroes down in that last fight, Sylvanas will be able to enter in the top, maybe try to salvage a few skulls, but it is so dangerous at this point.
Zeratul will likely immediately look for enemy heroes. Yes, you see that we have the vision from Brightwing, who just phase shift into the mines, revealing where Fan is right now. They've collected 12 skulls. It's already more than they had in the last phase, now with 16. But Shy needs to be very careful. K1 Pro looking for the kill, but no! Kerrigan diving in. This could be the first takedown on the side of Immunity. Yes, they do get yet another kill.
Showing signs of life. Immunity might be able to get another one. No, Cloud9 is going to back out. It will be able to escape out the back, but no! Trading out 2 for 1 so far.
Yeah, but Nio got hit by the Entomb. He's locked in the corner, and he will end up falling here. We did see Sonya fall as well, so suddenly Cloud9, what looked like might be a bad spot for them, they bounce back, and they have 44 skulls picked up so far, and the boss is the only thing remaining.
This just put a ridiculous amount of pressure on Immunity. They were faced with the decision, do we go in the mines to try to contest, or do we go back up to continue to soak? Either way, they're facing a situation that is really just not very good. They chose to go into contest, weren't able to get, they got the single takedown, which is good, but we're still looking at a very advantaged goal, 74 to 26.
And it's already at the wall of their keep here in the bottom lane. Look at this, they're actually stepping into the mines. They have their heroics, they're saying if we can find a timing and pick off 1 or 2 members of Cloud9, that's going to be very good for us. But Cloud9 whiffs this. He realized that's what they want to do, backing on out from the top portion of the battleground in a safe manner.
Level 13 just reached. This is the time where Zeratul has so much more mobility with that wormhole. If the blink is reactivated within 3 seconds, he's able to go back to the original place that he blinked in from. He can hop in, deal his damage, and get back out.
Beautiful play here by Immunity, finding Kael'Thas as he goes in forward like that. Excuse me, Leoric, but the Void Prison is buying too much time for Cloud9. Cinder goes hitting the entire team. Caffeine is still alive, and the Tranquility is keeping that team healthy. The Water Elemental doing its best to try to keep Shy up, but no, they're not going to be successful. A beautiful impale from Kerrigan, but now she is completely secluded from the rest of her team. There is no escape here.
Naruto's going to be taken out, and Sonya making an attempt, especially with that increase to the range of the spear, but it's not going to be enough. And this is a huge goal, 74. With all of these heroes out, that's clearly their fort. But the big question is, I think this might actually be game for Cloud9.
4-level lead with a boss that has 74 goals. I think so too, Goobies. Look at how far this keep is falling. Cloud9 wants to keep the pressure on. The Howling Blast, buying time. Shy will get hit by the Lunar Flare, falling immediately in that fight. And without Zaina here, this is going to be a very difficult defense.
Robodova stashing. Naruto trying to make something happen. They're trying to get to the back with the silence to punish, but Dunk Train is able to get out thanks to the peel of his team.
But Igon took a lot of damage, but they're collapsing there, and they blow up Kerrigan rather quickly. Robodova backing away, but the Wraith Walk from Leoric, no turning to the core. Boss wheeling away at those shields. Cloud9 is just going to get that focus on and try to limit this, but the death timers are so low. Shy back alive. Is it enough, Kubi? I don't think so.
Still a 4v5, 82%. They might actually go for this if they get another takedown. With the Cinder goes to this might be enough. No, not quite. Able to back up, but the body blocks are absolutely on point from Caffeine.
But the core is down to just 20% health. I don't know if they can stop this fan blinking over the wall. They have done it. Cloud9 takes a 2-0 victory